Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Painting with Foster the Meeple. My name is Zach, and today I'm going to be painting a mini from Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. I'm painting Wendy Adams the Urchin as part of the hashtag MyMiniYourMini challenge that you can find on Instagram. I decided that I wanted to change up the mini just a little bit, so I'm cutting a piece of plastic here. And the goal is to kind of enlarge the flame from the candle. So I'm using the super glue to attach this little piece of plastic to the candle, which, I will be honest, took a while and it fell off a bunch of times. The thing that I wanted to do is cover it and hang it upside down to get a little drip shape. And then I used some baking soda to accelerate the curing of the glue. Now, I know it looks a bit more like a torch than a candle, but I like that it's a little bit different and a little exaggerated. Using Barbarian Flesh from Army Painter to paint in all of the skin. I'd already primed the minis from this game earlier in the summer using Army Painter spray-on matte white and matte black primers. Next up, I used some Warlock Purple to do the base coat for the dress. I thought it gave a really nice brightness to everything to start off, and the goal is to darken it up from here. So just blocking out kind of the color scheme that I'm looking for, just deciding as I go, a little bit basing it off the portrait that came with the card. I did switch to a smaller brush to paint the straps because they're pretty tiny, but I also knew that I'd be painting basically over everything again, so I wasn't being too hard on myself if I messed up where I got the paint. Next up, I used Scaly Hide to paint in the sleeves. I thought that it went pretty nicely with the purple. I was thinking of doing a lighter blue, but once I put this color on, I was pretty happy with how it was looking. I chose to use mummy robes for all of the places that would eventually be mostly white. It would give me somewhere to work up to with the white if I wanted to do some more highlighting. So here I'm just going on the shoulders, and eventually I'll use this as well to do all of the trim. I didn't want the hair to be pure brown or red, so I mixed Dragon Red, Warlock Purple, and Fur Brown to kind of get a color I liked for a base coat here. It's a lot more vibrant now than it will be at the end of the model once I add some more layers of color to it. The color scheme for the model is pretty much coming together the way I want it to now, and I'm going to start layering up using Alien Purple to darken up the dress and get it closer to where I want it to be in my end result. So I'm just putting on really thin layers of purple, and the goal is not to clump it all on, but to just build up slowly. Now, opposite of my previous message of building up the paint slowly, I'm using a hairdryer to kind of speed up the drying so I can get more paint on. Working in some different combinations of the colors I've already used, trying to lighten things up a little bit here. Here I decided to start using some matte black to put on a first coat on the base, and this would give me a little bit more contrast to compare the rest of my color scheme with as I went through and continued painting. I'm taking some time here just going back over some previous colors, trying to make sure the coverage is everywhere that it needs to be and I'm not missing any large spots having the primer show through. Next, I'm using the brush that I use for my metallics to put on some plate mail metal on the medallion and the candlestick holder. You want to make sure that you're using a different brush for metallics because they can be a little bit harsher on your brushes than your regular pigments. I'm not going to end up keeping this color on the candlestick holder, but I wanted it there as a base to start with. Coming back in now to do some more touch-ups on the skin, make sure I cover anything where I might have got some errant paint, and then using some Necromancer Cloak for the shoes, really nice dark gray off black color, like to use in a lot of places, and using some more Mummy Robe to do my first bits of trim around the rest of the dress. Since I have this color back on my palette again, just making sure to get some touch-ups so I'm not wasting the paint, trying to use it as much as I can when I have each color out on the palette. Next up, I decided to use weapon bronze on the candlestick holder. It's closer to the look I wanted to finish with. In the next step, I'm mixing some demonic yellow and Mummy Robe and basically trying to mix them in a ratio to get a nice color for the candle and just do a base coat over the flame so that I have something to paint over. You could also see that I did put in some white for the eyes. And here, just a little bit of black to do the pupils. Next, using some pure red to build up the flame effect. Basically bringing in the demonic yellow to make a bit of an orange, and lightening the colors as I go towards the bottom of the flame, keeping it more red at the top. For my next step, I did a quick wash of the mini using soft tone. I didn't want to use anything much darker than that. I thought it would be too harsh. I'm just taking most of the time now. The mini is blocked out and it has the color scheme I want. So now I'm just going in and doing different mixes of the colors I already have on there and lightening them up to bring out some highlights and some variation. The washes can make your minis pop, but right now I'm still dealing with everything just looks kind of dirty and a little bit muddier, so I want to keep that darkness in the recesses of the mini, but I do want to clean other things up and bring some color back into this. Using some matte white to go over all of the trim now to really kind of bring the white back out of the Mummy Robe and make it stand in higher contrast with the rest of the dress. last bit of painting was adding highlights, mostly focusing a little bit on the hair and a lot on the dress, trying to bring out more color variation there. Added more black to the base to finish that up. And this is the penultimate result. I did go in off camera and add a few more highlights to clean it up a bit more. If you like this, follow us on Instagram at FosterTheMeeple. Check out our other videos and please subscribe. Thanks for watching.